Charlotte, I told you to wait for me. I was still getting ready. I mean, I'm the host. You're today's guest. How are you just going to start without me? So rude. And welcome to M1 Yarns and the Michigan Makers Podcast. I'm Jamie, the dyer behind m1yarns.com. You can find me everywhere on the internet at M1 Yarns. And as you may have already surmised from my guest today, this is a special finished object video all about Charlotte the Fox. This, if you saw on my previous episodes, and you can see I already have a problem. Her head is floppy. Let's just start with that. This is the first stuffed animal I've made. And if you are a stuffed animal maker and you have any tips that I might use either in amending her or in future animals that I plan to make, please do comment below. I would appreciate it. Anyway, as I mentioned in previous podcast episodes a few weeks ago, today is May 1st. This will air in about a week, just after Mother's Day. A few weeks ago, I got an idea that I wanted to make this little character. And I say little, but she turned out quite large. And I don't know if this is a gauge thing. I mean, you know, she's a big girl. I should look in the book to see what the finished measurements were supposed to be. But this is a character out of Louisa Crowther's book, Knitted Animal Friends. And funny enough, so on the back of this, it says she's got a couple other books. A Guide to Colorwork Knitting. No, sorry, that's not by her. This is by her. My Knitted Doll. And it's a bunch of little people dolls as opposed to animal dolls. She just came out with another doll, another book of, I want to say it was like all, I'll look it up and I'll put it right here. I'll put the title of the book right here. But I know for a fact that one of the characters was a unicorn. So it might have been something kind of along those lines. But anyway, so I don't know if it shows like finished dimensions. But I was quite surprised at her size. I thought she'd be smaller. I have a lot to say about this. Let's just start with the good, the bad, and the ugly. I hate knitting flat. The body is knit all flat and seamed, and yet I didn't mind it. I don't know if it's because it's for my mom, who is the most knit-worthy person in the entire world. I don't know if it's because this is so stinking cute. I don't know if it's because it was small pieces. I don't know. I don't know if it was because, to me, like a sweater, there's no need to knit a sweater flat. Unless you're doing a certain skill that you can't do in the round, if you know what I mean. Such as, well, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But anyway, there are some skills, some motifs or whatever. So, but it is what it is. I had thought about figuring out how to do like the arms and legs in the round, but then I thought I row out when I purl and I didn't want a distinction between the looks. So I just decided really not to make any modifications to anything on this. I didn't even modify my needle size, which I'm a loose knitter, and I just decided it is what it is. We're just gonna go for it. And all in all, I used the yarn that the pattern called for, which is Scheepjes, which means little ship. It's this brand. I got this on Jimmy Bean's wool. The garments, I should say, are using Catona, which is a mercerized cotton. And the body parts are using their, I'll insert it here. I can't remember. It's like a cotton acrylic, which I hate acrylic. It usually bothers my hands with a rash, but this was fine. And let's see. Okay, so gauge-wise, I probably could have gone down a needle size in reality, because it said that you only needed 1 ball of like the orange. Well, I needed 1.5 balls. For this purple dress, it said you only needed 1 ball. I needed 1.5 balls. So we had some issues. But all in all, I really enjoyed it. So everything, so like the white and orange situations, that's in Tarja. There's a lot of like little skill building opportunities if you've never done certain things. There's little techniques that it's a great opportunity to learn. All in all, I think this is a great learning project. I wouldn't discourage anyone from knitting this. I think it's really fun. Everything is bite-sized. It's a toy. You can, knit everything at your own pace. I set myself a goal to knit it in basically 2 weeks, because by the time I decided to knit it for my mom, I was like, oh, if I knit it as a Mother's Day gift, I really only have 2 weeks to get it done, because she lives in a different state and I need to, knit it, seam it, stuff it, ship it. And sure enough, I got it done. Today is Monday. This coming Sunday is Mother's Day, and it is ready to ship. Yesterday I finished the dress, and so later today I'm going to go to the post office. So let me break down a few little things that you might want to think about or that you could comment on. I've already commented on the floppy head problem. At first I seamed it on the way I seamed on the legs, which, oh, and check out her cute French knickers. How cute are these? And look, her little tail pokes through. Isn't this just the cutest thing? I never thought we'd be looking at panties on the podcast, but here we are, panties on the podcast. So as far as seaming on the legs, I think this is mattress stitching. I have to check the book. The book provides direction on seaming. It provides a lot of skill direction, but not a lot of, that's probably rude that I'm like sticking her butt at your face while I'm talking. Forgive me. Let's be more ladylike. You want to get your dress together, young lady? My mother would be appalled. Okay. Now sit up straight. Okay. What was I saying? It doesn't give you a lot of detailed direction on how to assemble everything. That being said, I used like the mattress seaming technique to attach the head to the body, but then it was flopping. So then I thought, well, maybe I need to do some sort of reinforcing. So I kind of wrapped it. I seamed wider. So instead of giving her like a peg neck, I gave her more of like, almost like how our necks have like, you know, they transition into shoulders. So I kind of added that. That didn't help. So that's a frustration. One idea I had, and this is kind of crazy. So the bag of stuffing, like the polyfill, came with this chopstick for stuffing the chapstick. I had a crazy idea, and if I am crazy, just tell me. I had an idea that if I shove the chopstick through a stitch through her back, this looks really terrible the way I'm describing this. But if this is your first time watching me, I'm really sorry. This is not the video for you. Please go watch any other episode and figure out that I am a normal person, I don't normally make toys. I don't normally shove chopsticks up their rear end. Anyway, I digress. If I shove the chopstick through a stitch into its polyfill body, through the neck, spring allergies are driving me nuts, by the way, into the head. Okay, now imagine, if you will, if you squeeze it, you can kind of, I'm squeezing on the chopstick. Now, and I'm holding the end of the chopstick just in case I want to pull it out. Now the chopstick kind of gives it like a spine. See what I mean? So I've thought about sending that to my mom and saying, Mom, you know, if you don't want a floppy head, just shove a chopstick up her butt. Okay, so I'm going to leave the chopstick there for a second. Back to gauge. I say I could have gone down a needle size, not only because I ran out of yarn, but if you look closely, you can kind of see the stuffing between my stitches, which if I was to nitpick, haha, would bother me. I don't know. The fact that this was flat and seamed, those aren't my best skills. So I really couldn't be like the ultimate perfectionist. The book, the book calls for this long jacket for the fox. Everyone I read on Ravelry's project notes said that this jacket is tedious. And I knew, since I was on a time crunch, that I didn't have time for that. So I knit this shrug, which there's all sorts of patterns in the book for different clothes. So I knit this shrug. Turned out great. The little picot edging is really nice. Her little messenger bag is super cute. I got buttons. I got all the buttons for everything. Can you see? At my local fabric store, if you're in the Metro Detroit area, Haberman's. Used to be in downtown Royal Oak and used to be huge. And now it's in Clawson, which is really close to me. So I went there. This is her little bag. Little I-cord strap. Let's just set that over there. So, knit the shrug. The dress could have been knit more in the round than it was. There's really cute lace detail here. That was kind of fun to knit. I really think this could be... I realized she knit it flat so that you could, like, figure out, depending on which animal you're making out the book, and where you put the tail on, so that the tail can work with the outfit. But I think if she gave more specific direction on where to put the tail, because she didn't say that, then the dress could have been knit completely in the round, like a baby dress. That's other commentary. From like here down was knit in the round. The little picot edge down here, cute. Total pain in the ass. Sorry. Would not probably have done that again, but I know my mama love it. Let's see. Yes, she's wearing French knickers. These were adorable. I knit these in an afternoon. Totally. Let's get your tail out of the way, Charlotte. Excuse me. Totally loved knitting these. Actually would not mind wearing these as like a little lounge set myself. So her body is also in tarsia. She's got a white belly, just like her face. The book does not really speak to the fact that you'll need 2 buttons for her eyes. I forgot those when I went to the fabric store, but luckily I had these in my sewing kit. It says just embroider a nose. I didn't really know how to do that, so I kind of just took a stab at it. It's not bad, especially this is like a foot's distance from the camera. I think that she turned out pretty good. So let's get you back dressed so you can be camera ready, right? My mom loves stuffed animals. She is like, I used to call her like the Mary Poppins or the, I don't know. My mom is magical. So, I think she will really get a kick out of this, and she is crafty. She doesn't really knit too much. I'm just gonna get you all buttoned up again. But, sorry. I think she'll really love this. She is the most knit-worthy. So there are other characters in the book. I think you saw on the cover. A dog, a mouse, there's a pig, a duck, I think there's a squirrel, an owl, a ram, a cat, who else? A hedgehog, a horse. I mean, aren't these just adorable? And all these outfits. So you can mix and match which animals, which clothes. There's shoes. I didn't knit any shoes. The fox doesn't technically wear shoes in the book. I thought about adding on shoes because I had enough yarn to make her like some little Mary Janes. But I would have had to have spent all yesterday evening doing that, and I wasn't 100% confident I would get it done. Where's your bag? Prior to today. And I was like, you know what? Don't start something that you don't know that you can't finish, that you won't love. Okay, we're back together. All right, so Charlotte, what do you want to say? Let's get your little tail out. What do you want to say about your experience? I guess she doesn't want to say anything. You must be the strong silent type. What kind of guest comes on the podcast and doesn't want to talk about anything? Do you knit? Do you dye yarn? Do you crochet? Are you going to go to Rhinebeck this year? Oh, wouldn't that be fun if I knit an animal for Rhinebeck, and we had matching sweaters. Okay, now I'm officially losing my mind. All right, it is definitely time to get back to the sweater knitting. Oh, one last detail. Look, there is a stitch design situation on the sleeve so that you get a thumb. That's what that is. Isn't that cute? I've never seen that before. So thank you for joining me for this special finished object review of Charlotte the Fox from Louisa Crowther's Knitted Animal Friends. Happy belated Mother's Day to all of you mothers of all kinds. Mothers, stepmothers, grandmothers, godmothers, mothers to be, mothers who want to be, sidekick mothers, and everything in between. I know that the women in our world make all the difference. I know my mother is the most important person in the world to me, and I am super blessed to call her mom. And if you all are lucky enough to still have your moms in your lives, give her a shout out today. Tell her you love her. Tell her how much you appreciate her. Tell someone else how much you appreciate them today, because really, that's what Mother's Day is all about, that we just need to appreciate one another, because so many people go out of their ways to make life better. So I hope you all are enjoying your day, your projects, and I'll see you next time. Bye!